Hi folks, back for part 6, and in this one I'm going to show you how to do a natural distress look. Everyone who knows and watches my channel knows this is my distress tool of preference. I just find more control with it. So I'm just roughly distressing this side. Nothing too major, just roughing it up a wee bit. Right, that's me happy enough with that, okay? And you can see that's distressed enough. Now I'm just going to clear those wee bits of paper off and make sure my surface is clear. And then what I'm going to go in with, and I'll use the same as I used on the other side, and it's Parade Burlap. And when I put this down it's going to look quite dark, but when you add water it does lighten it, and when it goes onto the paper it's even lighter again. So that's really moist there now, and all you're doing for the technique I've just showed you there, which is now dry almost, with a few wee damp bits, but that's fine, is just put your paper onto your mat and just push it in, because then you're absorbing some water as you're going towards it, and just push it through and you'll see it rising up, and then you lift it, then you're coming in again. You can do it actually from the other side and just push it through the ink again, and it just gives you, I don't want that now. It just gives you a natural distress look. And I'll just heat it up for you to show you and dry it off a bit. That'll do it now. But that shows you the natural distress effect. And what I'm going to show you now in comparison is the distress effect that most of us use day to day. And it's probably the quickest if I'm honest, but for me that's a better effect. It's more natural, it's not forced. But the way we normally do it is, and I'm just distressing quickly this edge here. And where that paper's damp it might warp a wee bit, but that's fine. Right, so that's it distressed enough. And I'll clear my table off a bit. And then I'll just use the Parade Burlap that we used with the other two sides. And what we normally do is, where is that wee sponge? I'm all fingers and thumbs tonight, ladies and gents. Another wee bit of my makeup sponge. Is just dab your sponge into it, get a wee bit of colour, and then what we usually do is just roughly go along the lines here. And we can, if we go into it a wee bit, you can actually go down and circularize into it, so it gives it a more distressed effect. Like that. And I'm just making sure that is got plenty on it. So that's the effect that we usually use on that side. There. Which is fine, but I just think that the other two sides look more natural. I do just feel that's been forced. And you can see where you've been blending it in. Otherwise up here, it's natural, it's fluid. You can see the waterline, but that will disperse. And you'll be left just where the ink is. Like that side dries quicker, because that was the side I done off camera. So you're only seeing where the ink is. And the same with that side there. You're only seeing where the ink is. Because if, for instance, if something was water damage through age, that is how it would look distressed. It wouldn't look forced. You would have that fluidity. And both work. Let's face it, they do both work. But for me, I prefer this style. That style is much quicker and you don't need to prepare as much for it. But these sides are more realistic. And because they're wet, you can roll them about a wee bit. I mean, the papers are obviously parting, so you can actually peel back. I'll see if I can do it. There we go. You can actually peel back maybe one layer of your paper and curl it, because that would be natural. That's just where the paper's separated, like that. You'll see it there. That's just where your paper's separated, so you can do that with it. So there is plenty of options for this type of thing. If you wanted, you could tear it right off, and it just gives it a different layer. If you wanted to add more ink to it from there, you could, and I'll just do it the quick way and do it like this and pop my sponge into it so my sponge is wet, and just dab some of the wet ink onto it, and you'll see, as I said, distress inks are fab with water. I mean, that's what they were designed for. But if you see where that was where the tear was, it's accepted the water a lot more, and it's not a massive difference, but you can see the colour change, and that's natural. So have a wee go at distressing differently, see what you prefer, and don't be afraid to try something new. Use your scrap bits of paper to try things. Now this isn't a scrap, this was actually a 2.5 by 2.5 card I had made. But if I distress another side of that, I could use it as a topper. Or if I put a wee bit of ink in the centre as well and let it bleed out, it's a topper. So it won't go to waste, that can be used. Or tear it up and stick it under parts of mixed media. It will be used. As I said, don't be afraid of your distress inks. They are not just ordinary ink pads. Alright. So that's part 6 of the series, and I hope you try that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.